What is up, my friend? Welcome to the basement. I am Mikey Henninger, and this is Basement Brood Fantasy Football. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for tuning in. You don't know it, maybe you do know it, but you're helping a guy change his life, chase a childhood dream, turn a passion into a career. So truly, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a very quick episode, technically episode 6, maybe I'll call it episode 5.5, but it's going to be a really quick one. I had a couple requests from people asking me, what the heck are best ball leagues? And it's usually funny, right? Because a lot of times I have a lot of people that ask me how many leagues I play in, and then of course jokingly I tell them, well, I play in over 1,000 fantasy football leagues, and usually they chuckle nervously, or their jaw drops, or they just can't quite fathom what I'm talking about. And then I reveal to them, technically that's true. I play in over 1,000, but all but 7 of those are best ball leagues. Best ball leagues are the one-night stand of fantasy football. So your typical fantasy football league, if you think about it, it's just a regular redraft league. It's a lot like dating. You choose your mates, you spend several magical weeks together, but eventually you part ways and you look for someone else next year. Dynasty fantasy football leagues are a lot like marriage. You choose your mates, you commit to them for life, you stick with them for better or for worse, unless you're a terrible dynasty owner. And best ball leagues, well, those are the one-night stand of fantasy football. You enjoy the thrill of picking different positions for a few hours. You enjoy dominating the draft. You enjoy dominating the draft. And you have no reason to ever see that league ever again once that magical night, once that magical draft is over. All jokes aside, best ball leagues they're basically, think of them like they are mock drafts, right? They're mock drafts without the mocks being run by computers or humans that just make a few picks and then bail. These are real drafts with real skin in the game. Usually they cost money, and you can do them for cheap, $1 at a time, $3 at a time. But they're basically mock drafts in that once the draft is over, you're done for the whole year. There's nothing else that you even can do. You're not allowed to do anything else. There's no trades. There's no waivers. There's no setting lineups. There's no transactions. There's nothing. The draft is done, you're done for the whole season. Now, the way that works, best balls are usually deeper drafts. You usually do anywhere between 18 and 22 rounds, usually 20, right? Underdog, DraftKings, those are the most popular platforms to play on, and those have 20-round best ball drafts. The reason it's so deep is because you cannot do any transactions. You can't add guys from the waiver wire. So the way that it works is every week, you're automatically awarded the optimal output or the best possible score that you could have gotten. So I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you've drafted Patrick Mahomes, and then as a backup, you drafted Trevor Lawrence, and maybe you threw in a late round pick on Zach Wilson. If you're in a regular redraft league, every single week you're going to pick Patrick Mahomes, right? You're going to bet on Patrick Mahomes to outscore those guys. Inevitably, there are going to be a few weeks where Patrick Mahomes might have a down week and Trevor Lawrence might take off and he might outscore Patrick Mahomes. So in those scenarios where you picked Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence was the better play and you left him on your bench. In a best ball league, that doesn't happen. It can't happen. In a best ball league, you automatically get whichever quarterback gave you the most points, and you automatically get your best 2 running backs, and you automatically get your best 3 wide receivers, and your best 1 tight end, and your best flex player. It's all automatic. You don't have to do anything. Whatever system you play on is going to give you whatever your best possible points could have been for every week, every single week. Now, as you can imagine, that does change things in how you should value players. It does change things in how you should consider players when you're drafting them differently between redraft and best ball. I think Mike Williams is a really, 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 really good example for this. So in 2021, Big Mike had 7 games over 15 PPR points. 2 of those games even reached 30. Okay, so the weekly ceiling was huge. This guy won you weeks in 7 games. But in the same season last year, he also had 7 games under 8 PPR points, 2 of which were under 4. Okay, so you were either getting week winning Mike Williams, where he was scoring 30 points, or you were getting week losing Mike Williams, where he was getting you under 4 points. In a regular league, that's insanely maddening because you have to try and predict those booms. You have to try and predict those busts. And what inevitably is going to happen to every fantasy football manager is you're going to end up with instances of 3 points in your lineup and or 30 points on your bench because you probably predicted wrong at some point along the way. In best ball leagues, you do not have to make those guesses. So guys like Mike Williams are going to carry a little bit more value in a best ball league because you want that weekly ceiling. You want that weekly explosion when you don't have to predict it. So he should be drafted higher in a best ball league than he would in a typical redraft league. So hopefully that helps. I recommend playing on Underdog. I recommend playing on DraftKings. I do have promo codes inside of the article. I wrote an article. It's linked in the description of this episode, so you can click that to get more information on best ball leagues. And at the bottom of that article, you're going to find links to Underdog and to DraftKings that have promo codes attached to them. That's going to hook you up with some free credit once you sign up. And frankly, it's going to hook me up as well. So thank you very much. But I hope that helps. I hope that provides some clarity as to what the heck is a best ball league. If you do have questions, because I know it absolutely can be confusing, first of all, check out the article that I linked in the description below. But otherwise, please feel free to email me, Mikey@basementbrewedff.com, or hit me up on Twitter @BBFFMikey. That's going to do it on the best ball intro episode. Hopefully you found that helpful. I will next be back with I haven't quite decided yet, but it's either going to be a preview of the draft kits that I'm releasing next week. Super excited about it. Or we're going to be back with our team by team previews once I decide which team and division I want to start with. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening in, and please, follow on Twitter @BBFFMikey, subscribe, leave a review, share it with just one friend. I really appreciate it every time you help me out. Cheers. This brew is for you.